Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United's game against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park has been postponed because of the Queen's death. Every game has been postponed. Manchester United were supposed to play Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park tomorrow, and it was a 4:30 kick-off. Now obviously the game against Crystal Palace will be rearranged. Manchester United recently lost 1-0 to Real Sociedad in the Europa League. Crystal Palace, they recently drew 0-0 against Newcastle. Crystal Palace beat Manchester United on the final day of last season 1-0 at Selhurst Park. Manchester United though beat Palace at Old Trafford last season 1-0. That was actually Ralph Rangnick's first game in charge as Man United's interim manager. I do know a lot of players that Crystal Palace have got. They've got Jordan Ayew, that's a good attacking player. Wilfred Zaha. Wilfred Zaha is a former Manchester United player. We had him when he was younger, but he didn't really get in the team. That's why Man United let him go. It was actually the last signing that Sir Alex Ferguson made before he announced his retirement. But Wilfred Zaha is probably one of the best players that Crystal Palace have got. They have Odsonne Edouard, Jean-Philippe Mateta, James Tomkins, he's out with injury at the moment. James McArthur, he's another player that's out with injury for Crystal Palace. Nathan Ferguson, he's been out with injury. Palace have Jeffrey Schlupp, Will Hughes, they signed Chris Richards from Bayern Munich. Joe Ward, Nathaniel Clyne is a fullback. Nathaniel Clyne is a former Liverpool and Southampton player. They've got Anderson. Two of the goalkeepers Crystal Palace have got, they've got Sam Johnstone. Sam Johnstone is Manchester United's former goalkeeper. He was also the goalkeeper of West Brom. They have Jack Butland. Jack Butland is out with injury at the moment. So there are a lot of the players that Crystal Palace do have. Let me put into the equation that Palace have let players go. They let Martin Kelly go. Martin Kelly went to West Brom from Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace loaned Robert Street out to Shrewsbury. They loaned Luke Plange out. And they let Christian Benteke go to DC United. And Crystal Palace, don't forget, a few years ago lost Andros Townsend. And back in 2019, they lost Aaron Wan-Bissaka to Man United. So reflecting on that, Man United have done transfer business with Crystal Palace before. The Crystal Palace manager is Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira is under contract with Crystal Palace until 2024. Patrick Vieira has been the Crystal Palace manager for over a year. He got appointed in as the Crystal Palace manager back in July 2021. Before Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira managed Nice. He's also managed New York City, and at one point he managed Manchester City's under-19s. Before Patrick Vieira, Crystal Palace had Roy Hodgson. Obviously Roy Hodgson left Crystal Palace, and then when he left Palace he became the Watford manager. Manchester United have got players missing. Anthony Martial, he's still out with injury. Brandon Williams has been out with injury, but he doesn't really get in the team. Facundo Pellistri, he's been out of injury, but he's another one that doesn't really get in the team. Donny van der Beek had a knock not so long ago. So there you go. Manchester United have made 6 signings this year. Manchester United signed Terrell Malacia from Feyenoord. Got him for 13 million. Terrell Malacia signed a contract with Man United till 2026. There's an option of an additional year. Terrell Malacia is our first choice left back, so reflecting on that, there's no way back for Luke Shaw now. Man United signed Christian Eriksen on a free transfer. When Christian Eriksen officially signed, he signed a 3-year contract. Eriksen's done really well since he came to Man United. Man United, of course, signed Lisandro Martinez from Ajax in a deal worth 57 million. Martinez has done really well since he came. Martinez, in the game against Real Sociedad, was controversially penalised for a handball, but it wasn't a handball, it was a shocking decision by the referee. Martinez, by the way, has just come back from an injury. Man United, of course, signed Casemiro from Real Madrid in a deal worth 70 million. Man United paid the initial fee of 60 million. There was a further 10 million in add-ons. Casemiro recently made his first start in the 1-0 defeat to Real Sociedad. Man United, of course, signed Antony from Ajax for around 86 million with add-ons included. Antony is Manchester United's second most expensive signing ever, and is the 4th most expensive signing in Premier League history. Antony did play against Real Sociedad. He did have some half chances, but he weren't that good. He played well on his debut against Arsenal. Antony scored on his Manchester United debut against Arsenal. It was a finest place finish in the 6-yard box. Man United signed Martin Dubravka on loan from Newcastle. A 2 million loan deal was agreed. There's an option to buy for around 5 or 6 million at the end of the loan. Martin Dubravka will seldom play. You know, he's just a backup to number 1 David De Gea. I thought Dubravka would have started in goal against Real Sociedad. I thought De Gea would have been given a rest. But yeah, Man United have spent over £200 million this year. Let me put into the equation, we've let a lot of players go this year as well. We've loaned players out, you know, we loaned Hannibal Mejbri out to Birmingham, we loaned Amad Diallo Traore out to Sunderland, we loaned Ethan Laird out to QPR, we loaned Eric Bailly out to Marseille. Like I recently updated you, Eric Bailly accused Manchester United of favouring English players and he had a swipe at Harry Maguire. Man United loaned Alex Telles out to Sevilla. We also loaned Dean Henderson out to Nottingham Forest. So there you go. We've seen players leave on free transfers, obviously. Lee Grant left earlier on this year. Pogba left Man United for the second time on a free transfer. He's now back at Juventus. Matic left Manchester United on a free. He went to Roma, so he's reuniting with Jose Mourinho. Man United let Lingard go on a free. Jesse Lingard is at Nottingham Forest. Man United let Juan Mata go on a free transfer. I heard that he's close to making a move to Galatasaray. Man United let Cavani leave on a free earlier on this year. And of course, Manchester United sold Andres Pereira, and we decided to sell James Garner. And certainly more players will be leaving Manchester United next year. I think next year there's a good chance Luke Shaw will leave. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no way back now for Luke Shaw in the team. No longer first choice left back. Shaw had a knock so long ago. Luke Shaw is injury prone anyway. Shaw's enjoyed around 9 years or so now at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Shaw's contract at the club expires next year. Harry Maguire, I'm expecting him to leave Manchester United next year. No longer one of our first choice centre-halves now. Our first choice centre-halves are Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez. They do play very well together. Man United look far superior when Maguire's dropped. Maguire started against Real Sociedad. It was his first start in a while. Man United overpaid for Maguire, got him for £80 million. Next year, I think Brandon Williams will be leaving. Like I said, he doesn't really get in the team. Last season, he was out on loan with Norwich. Axel Tuanzebe, I think he'll be leaving next year. Last season, he was out on loan with Aston Villa. Well, he enjoyed 3 loan spells with Aston Villa, didn't he? Reflecting on that, he gained experience. Lindelof, I reckon he'll be leaving Manchester United next year. Say the same thing as I said regarding Maguire. He's not one of our first choice centre-halves. Lindelof was no longer one of our first choice centre-halves when Man United signed Rafael Varane. Lindelof is under contract with Man United until 2024. Lindelof's been at the club since 2017. Man United got him from Benfica in a deal worth 31 million. And Wan-Bissaka, I can say he's going to be leaving next year because there's no way back for him in the team because Diego Dalot is our first choice right back. Dalot, yeah, is our first choice right back under Ten Hag. He was also our first choice right back under Rangnick. Bissaka, I've got my reservations about him anyway. He had a knock not so long ago. Man United got him from Crystal Palace back in 2019 in a deal worth 50 million. Defensively, Bissaka's good, but the attacking side of his game is not very good. Fred, I reckon he's leaving next year. Fred is no longer one of our first choice centre midfielders following the arrivals of Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. Fred, though, did start against Sociedad. You know, he was playing alongside Christian Eriksen and Casemiro in that midfield. Fred has played a lot of games alongside Scott McTominay, and quite clearly Fred and McTominay have not complemented each other. Fred's had his good games at the club. Man United got Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk in a deal worth 50 million. I reckon Manchester United will sell Anthony Martial next year as well. He's missed games this season. You know, he's had a couple of injuries. Revert back to pre-season now, I thought Martial played very well. Last season he was out on loan with Sevilla. Told you the best season Anthony Martial enjoyed was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Man United got Martial from Monaco. Martial's been at the club around 7 years or so. He's under contract until 2024. And Ronaldo, he's on his way out of the club next year. Ronaldo's already accepted that he'll be staying until January. Not so long ago it did mention that Erik ten Hag expects Cristiano Ronaldo to stay at Man United. Ronaldo started in the 1-0 defeat to Real Sociedad. It was his first start since early August. Thought it was quite poor. Don't forget he did have a goal disallowed for offside. And he had some chances, so Ronaldo could have got his name on the score sheet. He came on in the 3-1 win against Arsenal and made an impact in that one, to be fair. Ronaldo's contract at the club expires next year. There is an option to extend for a further year. Manchester United re-signed Ronaldo last year from Juventus. Ronaldo's been his second spell at Man United. Since he re-signed, he's got 18 goals in the Premier League. He has 24 goals in all competitions. So, there you go. But there's players that will be staying at Manchester United. You know, I think De Gea is going to be staying. You know, De Gea is our first choice goalkeeper. I think Delors will be staying now because he's been impressive this season. Obviously Varane will be staying. Martinez will be staying. Probably McTominay will be staying. Bruno Fernandes will be staying. Sancho will be staying. Elanga will be staying. I reckon Marcus Rashford will be staying as well. Not so long ago, the Sun said that Manchester United are ready to hand Marcus Rashford a new 5-year deal as a reward for his early season form. Rashford's current contract at Man United expires next year, but there's an option to extend for a further 12 months. At the moment, Rashford earns around £200,000 a week on his current contract. To be fair to Rashford, he's had his good games this season. He scored twice in the 3-1 win against Arsenal. Of course, Christian Eriksen will be staying at the club. I reckon he'll see out his 3-year contract. Of course, Anthony will be staying. So there you go. Erik ten Hag, he's won 4 games as Manchester United manager, and he's lost 3 games in all competitions. I told you I think Erik ten Hag is going to do a really good job at Man United. I think he's going to make Manchester United competitive again. He knows that he's got big expectations to exceed at Man United. You know, if Ten Hag is to get Man United a top 4 finish this season, you can underline that and say, yeah, that's a good first season. If he's to get us a top 4 finish and win a trophy, then that would be a bonus. Man United need to win a domestic trophy this season. We haven't won a domestic trophy since 2017. You know, like I've said, Ten Hag, since he come in, he's made 6 signings, he's got rid of players, but, you know, Ten Hag is still inheriting other players from what other managers have brought in. You've got to admire what Ten Hag did when he was the Ajax manager, because when he was the Ajax manager, he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals, and he developed the young players well. Ten Hag replaced Rangnick earlier on this year. When Ten Hag officially got appointed in, he signed a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of an additional year. Also at Manchester United, you've got Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren. They're working alongside Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag was the one that recommended them in. We've got John Murtaugh, he's our Director of Football. Richard Arnold, he's our CEO. He replaced Ed Woodward when Ed Woodward resigned. We've got Benny McCarthy at the club. You know, the Glazers, they're still at Manchester United. We've got to get the Glazers out of the club because they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. For a while now, United fans have been protesting against the Glazers. A few weeks ago, it said the Glazers are open to selling a minority stake in Manchester United. Not so long ago, like updated, it said the Glazers have set a £3.75 billion price tag on Man United, which could tempt interest from Dubai. Quite a few weeks ago, it said Sir Jim Ratcliffe wanted to buy Man United. Elon Musk joked about buying Man United as well, don't forget. And you know, it said that Michael Knighton was preparing a bid to buy the club from the Glazer family. But the Glazers, you know, they've owned the club since 2005, so reflecting on that, they've owned Man United for around 17 years or so. And quite a few weeks ago, Sir Alex Ferguson came back to Manchester United in an advisory role. So there you go. The last time Manchester United won the Premier League was back in 2013. That's almost 10 years ago now. You know, Eric Ten Hag is Man United's 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. Manchester United have let 5 managers go since Ferguson. You know, we sacked Moyes, sacked Van Gaal, sacked Mourinho, sacked Solskjaer, and earlier on this year, Ralph Rangnick left. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.